Welcome. Welcome to the idea of where we explore the noise, the nuance, and everything in between. I'm Mike,
And I'm Bassey.
and this is a space where culture, creativity, and a lack of technology collide. What's going on, Bossy? How you been?
I've been good. I'm actually, as you said that, I'm hungry apparently, but I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I'm still getting my feet back on the ground. I was out of town last week for a conference,
That's
and
right. Doing hood rat shit with your friends.
doing hood rat things with my friends. And I was in New Orleans for a week, and I don't, it was for work. It's a conference, and while I was at the conference, I was emceeing all the opening, closing plenaries. So whenever everybody got together, I was the MC, and it's just, you know how it is, like when you're on for that long, and you're somewhat like the face of the conference. So whenever I'm not on stage, I was like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" So it's like you're on, and I even when we left when we left the hotel and like walking Bourbon Street, it's like, oh look, it's the MC. So I couldn't even like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
I could like but no, it
yeah.
was cool. I had a really, really good time. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a really fucking good MC.
I was
You
about
know,
to tell you that.
you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a
Yeah.
real and I had some existential moments at this conference because when you're good at something, and I'm sure you've experienced this as a phenomenal writer and poet, like when you're good at something, right, and you do it so well, and it's almost like other people either think that it's easy because you do it so well, and then it's almost like they underappreciate what it takes to be that good at the thing. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And
Yeah.
so, while we're at the conference, there's other people that have to come on stage. The main keynote speaker, I should say his name. I can say his name. Kwame Alexander. You know Kwame, right?
Oh, the writer. I know him from. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've known him for God, 30 years. Yeah,
Right? Right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
super dope. He actually spoke in my graduation when I got my doctorate last year. That's how he ended up at this conference. Because I told the people like, oh, you should check him out. He was available. He spoke and he's dope. And I was like, I could like I'm an MC and I could do I I you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying without saying it. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I know how much he got paid. It's like I'm a hater. I'm hating. I'm hating. I
It's not hating. It's not hating.
you know what I'm but you feel what I'm saying though, right?
I do.
So
I
I'm
do.
watching him tell his story, and this is not even no cap as the kids say, but like his story and my story, like my personal story, there's so many intersections, right? Like,
Mhm.
grew up in New York, he was raised in Virginia. He was raised in Chesapeake, Virginia, where my wife's family is from. And he went to Virginia Tech. I went to JMU, right up the street. His mentor was Nikki Giovanni. And one of my mentors is Nikki Giovanni's best friend, Dr. Joanne Gabin, who did the Furious
Mm.
Flower at JMU. It's like there's all these parallels. And so, I had this, nice write up I did when I was getting ready to introduce him. And I went up to him before the show, before he spoke. And I'm like excited, like, yo, brother, what I'm saying? Graduated, American, telling him the whole story, the whole thing. And I told him the intersections, and he was like, all right, cool. And I was like, all right, cool, my nigga. Are you trying to play? Like, all right, I got you.
You think
Like,
you're
at
better
some
than me?
I was furious because I'm like, I just know what my energy would be. Like, if that was the same, like, happens all the time. People come up to you, you're like, oh, snap. Like, I just would have been a little bit more, I would have embraced the moment more as a black man. He's, maybe 6 or 7. I think he's like 8 or 9 years older than me.
Yeah,
Um,
because he was older when I knew him.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he just didn't like it was a little standoffish energy. I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, damn, he probably gonna, he's gonna like this. keynote up, and then he did the keynote, and it was good. I was like, that energy wasn't like, you didn't have to give me that energy. You didn't Michael Jackson the keynote. I mean,
Yeah.
you did it, but
Well,
anyway, so I was just like, man, what am I doing? It made me think of us. It made me think of like our podcast, and we're always like, we're the best niggas doing this shit, and like, why don't people be recognizing? Like, I don't know. So I was in my feelings a little bit, but it was a great trip. I had a good time. I really, really love emceeing. I love like moving a program along, making connections. I have no fear on stage. And so it's just I'm almost like more comfortable on stage than I am just like walking around the audience or whatever. So it was just dope. I had a really good time. Really good time.
thanks. I because of what you just said, I go out of my way, even if I'm not in the best mood, if I'm not having a good day, even if I'm tired, I go out of my way when people try to connect with me on that level
Hmm.
to connect. Even like I get nervous like randomly. Like sometimes I'm fine, and then out of nowhere I'm anxious, but I always push through that. And I have like I'm not going to say what my tell is, but I have a thing that I go to regardless of how I feel, that keeps like a connection because you never know how much it means to other people for you to exist or whatever. You don't really know like there are people we haven't talked about Hamilton, but like the way that Leslie Odom Jr. showed up in my life, he will never ever understand how important and pivotal his presence at that exact moment meant to me. There's just no way,
Hmm.
especially because he probably has that effect on a million people. A million people will have a story like that. So I think about things like that when people approach me, whereas, yeah, people always say certain things to me, but you're saying it to me for the first time. It's the first time I'm hearing it from you, and I have to act accordingly. Like I just have to. And I've had that in my mind since I was on Teen Summit.
Mm.
Like it means something to that person, even if I've heard it a million times. So I can always I'm gonna say this delicately. I can always I always know the measure of a person based on how they receive things like that. Not in a negative, because some people handle things better or worse than other people, but I still
Sure.
think that if you make a decision, and it's a decision to be in a certain world,
Hmm. Hmm.
there is a responsibility that comes with it, and that's part of it. All that to say is like I'm validating the fact that it would suck.
It threw me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it would
And
suck.
the thing that's crazy is I saw Ninth Wonder on a plane a couple weeks ago. Did I text you when that happened? Did I text? No, I text a group chat and I was like, yo, I am on a flight to DC and Ninth Wonder is right here, like my producer idol. And everybody's like, yo, go talk to him. He's nice dude. And I went and talked to him. It was like the most amazing thing ever. Like Dap, big Dap, yo, thank you, bro. Like, I'm sure it was annoying. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, this is when I was going back and forth to DC for work. So it was mad early in the morning. And that moment, I was like, I try not to come off like, oh, fan thing, but just like on an art level, like and I told him like what you mean to hip hop, black men, like of a certain age, like super, like he was like, yo, bro, look, eye contact, big dap, boom, thank you for everything. Went on the way, peace. With Kwame, I actually saw him that morning in the gym, right? In the gym, said nothing. I was like, nah, that's crazy. I'm gonna give him a space. The gym was mad packed. I could have, and what's even more crazy is I was listening to his book on Audible, and I was like, in preparation for the speech, in preparation for announcing him. And so I was like, oh man, look at that. Wow, like, oh, we're walking into the gym. I'm right behind him. I'll let him have his thing. But when we were in the auditorium with 1,000 people, literally getting ready to start. He's sitting there, and the director of the conference was like, "Oh yeah, there goes Kwame. Go introduce yourself." I was like, "Oh yeah, bet." Went up, yeah. Anyway. So, and I'm always cognizant of, I don't ever wanna come off as a fan. I don't ever wanna come off as a unless I am a fan for real. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Unless I'm but this was just like, "Hey, I'm about to introduce you. I'm Mike. Just we crossed paths at America's graduation," and it was silence. But it's cool. It's cool. I'm not gonna hold it. I'm not. It's all whatever. It's whatever.
I mean, you might be tired, like I said, it's everybody has their own thing.
Yeah.
Like, I make a conscious decisions to do certain things, but everyone has their own thing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. No, I'm playing.
That's all
um.
I'm gonna say about that.
No. No. It was, and he did it. It was a great speech. It was a great. It was a great. It was a great speech. I could have did it better. Anyway. No, I'm playing. Um. We have some comments that we want to read. We have a comment that I want to read from our Spotify. And there's a person that's commented a few times. Her moniker is the Shady Dame, like
Okay.
SHAYDEE Dame. Do you know that person?
I don't think so.
Dame. She's commented a few times, but she commented on the idea of conspiracy theories. And she says, I thought that I was the only one that caught what Amanda Seales said about Trump. A revolutionary? The person that toxic whiteness put into power as a direct result of how having a black president made them feel? Sure, Jan. Funny. That was far too close to a right wing talking point for my taste. Is she signaling that she's going to head over to that side? Did they cut her a check? She's been acting very the check cleared as of late. That's her.
I don't think that she's moving to that side. I do think that there are people who are starting to recognize that it benefits them to be uh oppositional
Mm,
not yeah, a contrarian. It benefits them on some level to do that. And I think that she's part of that. I think she's like, I don't think it's like money motivated for her. I think it's notoriety. I think
mm,
she likes being like the topic of conversation. She likes people having these kinds of like feelings about her because she gets to play the political martyr.
oh. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I I don't think it's the check cleared either. I don't think she's getting like outright paid. But yeah, I guess you're right. I think so many podcasters walk that line. And we this was an early episode of ours. I think we were talking about it just came to my mind. That episode like playing dumb
Mhm,
that we did, the idea of playing dumb. I think we were talking about Ish from Joe Budden and
mhm.
how, it's like, oh, I don't know, and I think a lot of the ways that people think they have to podcast is, you know, giving both sides a voice. You know what I mean? Or, let's consider both sides. And in some of these content forums, there's like the guy that's always going to be on this side, and there's the guy that's always going to be on that side, regardless what the issue is and regardless what
Mhm.
they really believe. But with her, and a lot of, we talked about briefly before we started recording, like these folks that are hell bent on still, you know, going to Obama's talks and going to Kamala's conversations and pointing out, about Gaza and Israel and all these things is there's something in the air now about, con I think it's more than contrarianism though. It seems a little bit more nefarious to me, but I don't know what the benefit is for people if they're not getting a check.
Were you the one who sent me the thing that she said, what's her name? Amanda said about she doesn't speak for black people?
Yes. Or
You sent that to me.
yes, yeah. She says she doesn't speak for black people, but like she's not concerned with getting the approval of black
There it
people.
is. Yeah. She's concerned about the people who I can't remember what the exact wording was, but what it felt like she was saying was she's only speaking to people who agree with her. And if that's black people, fine. If it's not, then it's fine too.
Yeah, it was kinda that. It was kinda that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and I don't what is that? Like,
I think that saying the check is cleared is very simplistic
yeah,
because I don't think it is a monetary. I think eventually it's monetary. I feel like it leads to like being lucrative, but I think that I think it's more about people using social issues and the currency of social issues as their like spotlight. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like all
yeah,
these people who, like you said, who going to interrupt and da da da. Like they know it's pointless. The performance is part of it, and I think it's for her. Yeah, it's the performance of revolution, the performance of counterculture, the performance of all of these different things. And I think that she falls into that category because she's always been her entire career since the day I met her in Florida, 2002. Picture it. She's always been
yeah,
about self with the illusion of her success is all of our success.
yeah,
She's doing this for us. Like it's clearly benefits her only, but our joys in seeing her succeed is basically what it feels like.
yeah,
And
performative,
that's all I'm going to say
performative.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you keep on tap dancing on this, confrontation, the beef, like, how it
It wasn't a
started.
confrontation. It was not a confrontation. If anything, it's not a confrontation. But it happened. I've had a long standing, oh, this bitch since 2000 and I want to say 2002,
Uh-huh,
around 2002. I've had this, like, okay, all right, I see you. I see
uh-huh,
you.
uh-huh. Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna get to the bottom of that story one day.
One day.
Let's keep teasing that until we might have her as a guest on the show. You never
No, we
know.
won't.
Y'all
No,
can
we
have,
won't.
like, a reckoning, like, a
Mm-mm.
reconciling on that would be beautiful for the culture.
That would not happen. And the culture will have to live with that. That will
Oh,
never happen,
oh,
ever.
man. Last week, yeah, well, we could pre uh pre-promote it. You had a conversation last week that is gonna air in the near future.
In the future. Yes, I got to speak to Kendra Lindsay, who I adore. And last week when Mike was out doing Hibret things with his friends, she and I had a conversation about everything. Hip hop. I think that day is when Drake's case got dismissed. So we were able to talk about
Oh
hip
god.
hop, aging, as women in hip hop. God, we talked about everything, and I'm very, very excited for people to hear it. Because Kendra's amazing. I cannot get over it. Her what's it called? Midlife flyness. Like her whole concept is just, I love it. I love her. I think she's fantastic. So, in the near future, you will hear that.
I don't wanna, I don't wanna give anything away, but what I do wanna say is it is so dope that, like, you didn't know her. Like, you just found her on TikTok?
On TikTok.
And
Yeah,
I remember you talking about her maybe before we even started our show, and you sent me her, her handle and, looked at some videos like, "Oh, wow, she's so dope." Like, I felt a kinship to her, like, "Man, like, she's talking our shit." And,
yeah.
um, to manifest a conversation with her in real life, I think that is, like, the dopest shit ever. I think that is
So
so,
fucking
so
dope.
cool.
So fucking dope.
That is
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
really, really, really cool. So I'm excited I haven't heard it all yet, just bits and pieces, but what I did hear, I just think it's really revolutionary to be having these kinds of conversations online. And, I know she does it. I know we do it. And, just bringing them together, I think it's so, so important because, and we were talking about this a little bit before too, just the idea of aging in hip hop is just so uncharted,
Yeah.
and I don't think anybody really knows how to do it. I think we have some examples of how to do it well and some examples of when it doesn't go well. But I think the more people talking about it, the better. And I just think it's dope for these conversations to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, I think that when people say, "Oh, hip hop is 50," hip hop is 50, or I guess 51 now. I don't think people like really understand what that means because yes, it is still a very young genre, very young musical art form. But
Mhm.
the people who grew up with it, there's a perspective, and Kendra says this a lot. There's a perspective that is necessary. Like you can't have conversations
Exactly.
about Drake or about anything that's happening in rap or hip hop without the perspective of people who have grown up with it. You know,
Mm.
on the TikTok algorithm, when you watch one thing for too long,
Mhm.
it sends you a whole bunch of other things. Randomly found this TikTok page that just does old like hip hop, like just like performances like
Mm. Mhm.
for a week straight. It was like Naughty by Nature live performances, different places. And this morning I saw it was Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh doing what was the song?
Lottie Dottie.
Not Lottie Dottie. There's another one.
Is that saying 6 minutes Dougie Fresh are on? Is that the same one?
Is that Lottie Dottie? No. Oh, I can't. Oh my God. I'm seeing that right. But it was. I had never seen them perform it at that age. Like I've seen them do it like later, but
Mhm.
it was
Mhm.
like it might have come out the week that they did it. And like
Mm.
Dougie Fresh had hair. Like it was this whole thing. And like the people in the comments were like, oh, and they're like, y'all don't understand.
I don't understand.
You don't understand what it means to see this. You
That
don't understand what it means to see these people that are like 50s, 60s, and the 60s now as 20-year-old kids doing this song that is a classic song. Like you're
and we
seeing them perform it like probably the first time ever. Like you don't understand how important that is. And you don't understand how much you take for granted that you get to see your favorite performers perform.
Yeah,
You
seriously.
don't know what a privilege that is.
Right, and especially, like, I feel like that song, that "Them Too" is even so much more important to highlight because, like, you might have experienced some of this, but I was a kid in New York when that song came out, when Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick came out, and to the age where,
The
you know
show.
the
The
show, yeah,
show.
the
The show.
show, and when it would
Yeah.
come on, how we would run to our tape decks to record it on the
Yeah.
radio. And like
Yeah.
what they were to me, for me and my age, they were the first superstars.
Mhm.
Like them two were the ones that um it's such an important milestone in my childhood, specifically them two. It was them, Big Daddy Kane, and Biz Markie. Because on the
Mhm.
radio, those were the songs that they played over and over again. And in New York in the 80s, they weren't really playing hip hop on the radio like that.
Mhm.
They had this was before Hot 97. They had one or two stations, 98.7 Kiss FM and WBLS. And
Yeah.
98.7 played hip hop, like that kind of hip hop, from like 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Fridays or Saturdays. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause
That's
you
it.
remember like radio stations, their thing would be like no rap, no
No.
rap or hip hop, only da 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 da. Like that was a
Yeah.
thing. Like it was weird and special for
Yeah.
them to play it because that was a selling point for them. No rap, no hip hop.
Yep. They
Yeah.
would act, that was their presser. Like that was their
They
like
would
no
advertise
rap.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It
What
was
pissed me off, just and I want to go back to like hip hop, but I remember when WHUR was notorious for no rap, no hip hop, no rap, no hip hop. And then
yes.
one day I'm sitting there and they're playing like Heavy D, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you have to because classic classic music right now, you cannot play classic black music and not include hip hop after a certain point.
Uh-huh.
You have to. And then it was
That's
also like, all right, I guess we're old now that they're playing Heavy D. and and
right.
that's how like Heavy D, like my parents used to listen to like fucking Motown or whatever. It's like, okay,
You
all
know what's
right.
crazy? Wasn't it? Who was speaking of Heavy D and hip hop,
I love Heavy
the,
D.
the Michael Jack who Jam Jam, here comes the man.
That's the
Hot damn.
man,
Is that
hot
Heavy D?
damn. The people stand to the yeah.
So
Making
speaking
bigger tracks
the,
with my man Michael Jackson, smooth criminal, my man Maxon, relaxing. I love Heavy D. Okay.
so it's crazy. Is WHUR used to play that song, and
Without
because
it.
without the rap, yo, I'd be
Yeah.
like, yo, what's wrong
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah.
Like it's
That was what
CBD.
they would do. They would play song. They used to play fucking TLC and cut out Left Eye.
They sure did. They
They used to
really
do that
did.
all the fucking time. They would play a song that had a rap in it and they would just not play it. They would
I
not
re-
play the rap part.
I remember being a kid, like, yo, okay, you can't. It's Heavy D. Like, it's important to the song that he's in it, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that's
Let
hilarious.
me go even further. Do you remember uh Ralph Chesvant Sensitivity?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
at the end, where he's like, "You need a man who feels like a gentleman. If anybody can fit the description, baby, I can't." They used to cut that part
One,
off because he's rapping.
the one who tends to dance with himself completely. You got it in me. You need a man with sensitivity.
You need a man, not any man, warm and sensitive. That's what I can get. Oh,
Yo, I did not know they took that part out. That's
they took that
crazy.
part out. They took that
That's
part out.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I think it's I think what the clips have done single-handedly is that's why when it's award season in a couple months, if they don't win every award that they're nominated for, there's a problem. Because what they've done and what they continue to do is they're showing a blueprint.
Mhm.
They're showing a blueprint for how older MCs, and I think it's older people in hip hop, can talk about their experiences, can, still um they can still rely on older procedures,
Mhm.
like how they were doing the sit down interviews and they were everywhere. They were on Rap Genius. They were
The rap,
doing
the
new
rollout.
things. Yeah, the full rollout. They were doing some of the new stuff and they went and sat down with, traditional radio people and their tour right after the album came out. All of it. I think it's like showing some of the old heads how they can still remain relevant and like how their music can sound too,
Mhm.
right? Like I feel like there was trying to think of maybe in the mid 2010, like the 2010s. I feel like a lot of older rappers, I think Jay might have been a part of this crew too, that was trying to make their rap sound mature,
Mhm.
right? Like they were like relying on, it might not been as boom bappy. They might have been including like, Jay had all those songs with Homeboy from Coldplay, and there's like these rock mashups. And I feel like what the clips are showing, like, no, like you could double down, make the music super hard. You can still have heavy, heavy bass. You have intricate production, and your content is in line with your experiences. It's fine. Like
Yeah.
it's fine as long as it's authentic. And since then we've seen, Raekwon release an album that's really good. Ghostface has released an album that's really good. Who were we
Hold
just
on.
talking about?
Speaking of Ghostface, have you seen his son?
Whoa, yes.
Oh, wait, hold on. I don't know how does he identify as a son? I don't remember now. No, no, he does. He does. He does.
Yeah, I think he
He's a
still
he.
says his son. Yeah.
That nigga can rap
He can really rap. He can,
and he can
and sing.
sing.
And sing too. Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
nigga's
He's super
dope.
talented. He's super
He's
talented.
really, really talented. It reminded me of Boosie and his daughter, who's a lesbian, who out of all
Oh, really?
the kids that he's trying to like whatever, she's the talented one. But because she's gay, he's not pushing her. He's pushing her non-talented brother instead. But like, sorry, I just heard this his song "Dad and I"
Yeah,
the other
yeah, yeah,
day.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, this. I was like, Ghost. I mean, come on.
I didn't know that. I remember, or thought I remember, Ghostface talking about his son, like, lovingly, not, like, trying to sweep it under the rug, but also being honest, like, "Yeah, but, like, I'm working through it," right? But
Oh, I don't
the
remember
way the
that.
son was describing it is like, "Nah, he don't want shit to do with me."
Yeah.
Um, but see, even that, I think it's like, who better, right, to help older generations navigate newer generations than rappers?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to really
Yeah.
put words behind, like, yeah, this is new. Like, this is new for me. I think Marlon Wayans has a daughter, a son
As a
that
trans
transitioned to a
son.
daughter,
Yeah.
and I
No, no,
think
he has a trans son.
a trans son. So
Yes.
it was a
Daughter.
daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Even like that, I think, like, and I'm personally someone that, I was working on college campuses when, like, the LGBTQ movement really elevated, and I still fumble on, wait, is it a trans man, trans woman? Like, how do you? And I think, like, rappers, MCs, poets, storytellers of our age have, a good opportunity to help us all navigate some of the nuances of it all, right?
Well, you know what? That's true. And I think that this is why I also get very weary of and frustrated with this idea that people are just supposed to know things and
Mm,
there's no room to stumble into it. Because I'm thinking about Kendrick, my auntie is a man now, and
yeah.
how he was roasted and like people will not forgive him for that song, as opposed to this is what it sounds like when you're stumbling into understanding. When you have to start from the I don't understand, but I accept, and then get into the words and the proper ways of talking and thinking about it. And I think not giving people room to stumble into it allows people to not want to take a step at all into it. And I don't think that that's the way that it should. I mean, should, but I don't think that that is helpful to anybody because who better, like you said, than Ghostface, Stalin's own, to have this conversation and be clumsy and awkward and contradictory and uncomfortable until he gets to the point where he's able to talk about it. And I think Marlon Wayans is a perfect example because uh I've seen the evolution in his conversation from when it was his daughter, then his daughter's a lesbian, then his daughter's transitioning. Like I've seen how weird and how clumsy is the only way I can think about it. Where
Yeah.
from and you've seen him get better and better at it, and I think that we need to allow people to get better and better at these things instead of pretending that they know everything and pretending that they understand, and then flipping up later on because they never really truly understood. I'd rather people get it wrong and on their way to getting it right than having them just act like they've got it all. That I
Yeah.
don't think is helpful.
Yeah, and I even think, that's the case with so much of, so many areas of, different things that happen between generations, right? I think that there was a moment around the Me Too time frame, right, where there was a conversation happening on the Me Too issue on sexual assault. Women were having one conversation
Mm,
and men were having a completely different conversation. And, as a man, having these conversations, like, I remember acknowledging, like, something's off here. Like, every woman is saying they understand Me Too from this perspective. Like, every single one. Not one was saying, I don't really get it. And every man was saying, I don't get it. Or, well, what about this? Or, well, trying to, like,
they're
insert
getting
some nuance.
defensive. Yeah.
Yeah, and getting defensive. And then, that was followed by the cancel. That is what started cancel culture for the most part, right? And so I just think we oftentimes miss these moments for people to be imperfect. right? And I think the people in culture that have are able to elevate to different levels of success are the ones that publicly can make a mistake
Mhm,
and rebound or acknowledge it, and and teach people that share different aspects of their identity how
mhm,
to maneuver, right? Like
mhm.
how to deal with it. And it's so often that we just miss those chances because everyone wants to be right and no one wants to look stupid. That's part of it too. Like people don't want to, look like they don't know. It's just
Well,
unfortunate.
I think, and I've been thinking about this in terms of the people who keep interrupting former Vice President Harris at her book signings and at and her talks. And I think that people also have a problem admitting when they're wrong, because what we've moved into this culture where if you admit that you were wrong once, you will never be able to ever not be wrong. You will always be forever reminded of something that somebody else thought that either you did or,
Mm,
oh no, this is a better example because I saw
uh-huh.
this too. Do you remember when Simone Biles's husband said that he didn't know who she was, and
Yep.
people took that and like, just he doesn't deserve her, she's
Yeah.
settling, she just stand up, all that stuff. And then I remember thinking when I finally saw it, I was like, I don't think he meant what everybody is taking that as. And then I spoke to my
Oh,
sister again, who used to work for the NFL. She's like, he didn't mean it like that. Like anybody who knows any elite athlete who gets to the point where they're playing professionally,
they
they're
don't know
not
shit.
sitting around watching the Olympics. They don't know shit except for whatever plays the coach gave them.
Exactly.
Like unless she
Exactly.
showed up in their book, like it doesn't make sense. When people only have the scope of their own frame of reference, they can't understand how anybody else wouldn't. And so because of that, people are always, there is a privilege in knowledge. There's a
Mm,
privilege in knowing certain things. And when you don't allow people not to know, or if you don't allow people to, if you don't allow, okay, I'm all over the place. Let me go back. I think
no.
that it also comes with people using knowledge as a superiority complex. I'm, you may be a millionaire, you may be famous, you may be beautiful, but I know more than you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Therefore I'm better in some way. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's
Mhm.
like that's what
Absolutely.
people are unable to, all this thing about accountability, right? They want people to be held accountable, but what they really mean is I don't want you to ever forget that thing that you did that I didn't like, because it makes me morally superior. I've
Right.
never made a mistake. I'm going to keep reminding you of whatever it is I think that you've done wrong, so that
Mhm.
you can't get another job. You can't do, and I don't mean anybody who's like violently or, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
nothing dangerous in that way, but somebody who said something wrong in 1998, like let's
Right.
let it go. Let's let's let's
And
let it go.
it seems to always be not always, oftentimes be on like gendered lines, right? Like of like some man says something or is perceived to say something that dismisses a woman and it's like attack. And then on the flip side too, and when you said that, it reminded me of, the recent conversation of Steph Curry's
Oh my God. Ayesha
wife,
Curry. Yes.
Aisha. And man, dog, I did
That's
y'all talk about that?
another,
Did
that's
you and
not,
Kendrick talk about this?
we touched on it, but we can talk about it some more. But that's
I'm com-
another, that's not what
yeah,
that means. Just one second. Hold on.
uh, uh,
What's up? No, no, tell me what's up.
yeah. Bossy's talking to her son. I can tell, but yeah, like when she comes back, we're gonna talk about Ayesha Curry and what she's been in the media for the better of the last 2 to 3 years when it comes to, comments that she made about being married and being a mom and being a wife and conflicted, man. I'm conflicted. I'm gonna wait for Bossy to come back and then we're gonna chop it up and see. Cause I don't know. All right, here she comes. She's back.
Sorry about that.
Back on it.
He's home for fall
Um,
break until tomorrow.
oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah, your son is here. I know how I know how that goes. But yeah, I don't know, Bossy. Like I swear to you, I do not. I understand how her comments can be taken out of context, right? I understand that. I understand what she's saying, right?
Absolutely.
I
Any
think it's
thinking person knows what she's saying.
I think it's asinine that the conversation that's happening that people only think women go through this. Women
Mhm,
aren't the only ones that like have second guesses about being married and having kids in their career. Like, so it's a relatable statement.
mhm.
It's easy to be misconstrued. I understand why she says it and why she's asked about it a lot in interviews. And also, I feel like on some level she should be more responsible with the narrative.
Oh, I think that yes, yes, in that people are going to constantly and consistently purposely misunderstand you
Yeah.
because you are light skinned, you
Let's see.
are
Mhm.
super, super rich,
Yeah.
you're married to a man who is beloved in his genre or sport or whatever, and also like top 5% of all time in said
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to be Savannah James and not
Yeah.
say anything at all or say
Right.
it to your group chat. And I understand say it to your group chat, but I also don't know what it is like to since the age of 18 be with the same person and then
Yeah.
not expect them and not be able to fathom the level of success or the ways in which they would eclipse whatever your thoughts and desires are. So
Right.
because anything that she does is going to be related to him, and I think that's what her issue is. She's like, what is my? I don't know what my thing is. I don't know
Mhm.
what belongs to me outside of my husband. And they got together really, really young.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of pressure there and people not understanding that it is okay to be regretful and wish you would have done things differently and still be grateful and appreciative of where you are right now.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine you're
Mhm.
18, 19,
Yeah.
20, and you haven't even developed your own sense of self and now you're
Yeah.
eclipsed by somebody else's larger than life. I feel like way about Whitney, Kendrick's partner too,
Oh,
because
I say Whitney Houston. I was like, what?
no, rest in peace to the great one. No, because like I don't want to step on your point, but just like Kendra and I spoke about it briefly. When you watch Kendrick Lamar's concerts, and it's like his audience is like an organism that he is controlling.
Mm,
Like they are like it is unfathomable that level of power this one person, the most level-headed, grounded, humble person will have trouble being normal when they're able to do that. Now imagine being that
yeah.
person's partner. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
what does that feel like? What does that do?
Yeah.
You signed up for this little rap nerd who used to battle on the corner and
Right.
do you know what I mean? Like he had
Yeah.
weird teeth and huge ears. Like that's who you signed up for. Next thing you know, this nigga's commanding millions and and it looks fine as hell all of a sudden, like getting haircuts and shit. Like like what do you do with
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
And you've not established yourself. You don't know what it is that you're trying to do, and now you've got like people who will literally fight and kill for this man that you just want to take the trash out. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. It's so hard. I have so many thoughts on this. I have so many thoughts on this, and I didn't realize I don't think I realized that this was a triggering point for me until but I kinda saw it play out with Barack and Michelle.
Mm,
And
that's a
there
good
there
example too.
I think that okay, and let me tell you why it's a triggering point for me, and then, like, what I see as someone that's not famous at all, like, not even in my house am I that famous, right? So it's like but I have a big personality. And I've been told in different relationships, friendships, old relationships, marriage, that like sometimes my personality can overshadow everything that's around me, right? Okay, cool. Been there, done that. And I seen what every, let me say this, most husbands that I know share that same, like have that same kind of sentiment, like have that same, like whether it might be just the guys that I'm around, like the guys that I share time with, have bigger personalities, and their wife might not, or, um, but most of the guys that I know, myself included, understand that in those situations that you have to play yourself small so that your wife can shine. Like,
Mhm,
that is a
mhm,
thing. Like, that is a thing that, like, I'm not a powerful man by any means, but that is a thing that, like, men understand that as a husband, as a partner, you know, there's certain time I can't wear this. I can't wear this because if I go out, I'm like, "Oh, yeah," then, like, then my wife might feel funny, so Imma just, Imma like, "Ah, nah, go ahead, go ahead." But, like, that and I recognize it everywhere I see it.
mhm,
And with Barack was the first time I saw where it was almost like people were doing that for him, and he was already doing it. He had been done that with Michelle and
mhm,
elevated her whenever, he's the president of the United States and and I noticed how he would elevate her, and that's what to me, that's what men have to do. That's what real men have to do, and it's no, you're not bitter about it. You're not like, oh, look, I got it. You just do it. It's
mhm,
almost like a protection mechanism for your family and for your loved ones. And so I noticed that like Michelle, like started like similar to Ayesha, whenever most this has just happened recently with Michelle, like long after they left the presidency,
mhm,
but she started speaking about it was like a tinge of negativity about, how hard it was to be a first lady, which of course we know it is, without acknowledging how like not only was it hard for Barack, but it was like it's probably unimaginable
mhm,
how much press and stress and pressure and all the things his life is constantly in jeopardy, like all those things. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a right way to do it, but I've always felt like if in a relationship, if the person with the bigger stratosphere is elevating the other people around them and the person that is not also reciprocates it, then everything usually balances itself out. And with Aisha, I don't see that. Like I don't see like I just see it looks very complaining to me. It really does. And I've tried to see her as like, of course she's a wife. She has 3 kids. Like kids are hard and her kids are young and she's young and he's never there. So of course you get it, but a lot of her narrative and the narrative that's placed on her just seems it does seem ungrateful. And I don't even like to
But
think about it. I
but
don't know.
what do you mean by ungrateful though? Because I don't think it's a lack of gratitude. I think it is a I think she's having, for lack of a better term, she's having a midlife crisis. Her kids are
Mhm.
young, but they're getting older. So they need her less. And once you've made the decision to be a wife and a mother, and two of those things are starting to cycle out or in a different way, you're left with, okay, what do I have for me? What do I have
Mhm.
for me? And I don't think that that's complaining. I think that it's two things. It's a couple of things. I think Kendra and I even talked about this, which is you have every right to feel that,
Right.
but
Without a
people are
doubt.
determined to misunderstand you, and they're determined to find a reason to say that they're better than you.
Mhm.
And don't give it to them. Get on a group chat with Savannah and Whitney, and y'all can talk about it all day
Oh,
long.
right,
But
right, right.
the general population is not going to be kind and understanding to that. I don't think it's complaining. Oh, even if it is complaining, it could be complaining. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with feeling that. I just think that I don't even think there's anything wrong with sharing it. I just think that where we are now when it comes to things like that, um, people are not going to get it. Even with Michelle, I don't want to put like negative and complain. I don't want to say any of that. And it's because I just don't think that a lot of things need to be for public consumption.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm not going to tell you what it is that you can talk about how you feel about something happening in your own life. But
Right.
I think that where it goes weird is that women are always usually the main people who have to make those kinds of sacrifices. It,
Mhm.
it just is the way that it is. Like if you want a
Mhm.
healthy family, if you want a healthy children, somebody's going to have to take a step back. Somebody
Yeah.
is. Um, and I think that because women are usually by default um, asked to take a back seat, these women who are living lives that are supposed to be that are better off than like the average person,
Mhm.
they're not supposed to complain about it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're not supposed to talk about it, even though it is a universal feeling. It's a universal situation. It is. I don't know.
And that and I agree with you. I agree with you. The only thing I don't even think this is a pushback. I think that this is the importance in my opinion of like having um this is simple like both sides of the same story, right? Or having different sides of the same story is because we all know it's kind of like the same conversation that I had on the single episode about like how sometimes women will martyr themselves as the parent, right? Like I'm the parent and I'm the template of what a parent is. And I think that's easy to do when there's no public narrative of what dads do
Mhm,
and an
mhm,
understanding of what, fathers in different situations have to do. And I think it's so similar in this case where we all know what it looks like for women to sacrifice because it's so common. You're right. Like that, it is assumed that on some level, at some time in a child's life, that, a mom has to do X, Y, and Z to care for, cook, clean, make sure things run together when in the life of a child. And it's not a but, I think it's an and, I think there's so little conversation and understanding about what men do and what it looks like when men sacrifice. It's
mhm,
just not a thing. It's like only men have those men be in our group chat complaining all day about what that sacrifice looks like. And 9 times out of 10, a man will never tell his wife about that. So
mhm,
when I say like a lot of times, like your husband, like people's husbands, the men in your life, like they're struggling is because it's because of stuff like that. It's not because we're experiencing things that women don't. It's because that the way our sacrifice looks like is it's like uncharted territory. And there's no real space for men to talk about that publicly because you look like a bitch. Like you look like, oh, what you complaining for? You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's that, when people say like, oh, men have to talk to each other, you got to go to therapy. Yeah, I don't know. I get it why men don't. I get it why men don't share certain things because there's just no landscape for any of that to make sense in the way that we consume information. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, it does, but I think that the idea of partnership has become really huge. I don't think people
Hmm.
fully understand what a partnership is. It's not 50-50 down the middle. It is it
Right.
is like a it's 50-50, it's 70-30 sometimes, it's 46. It like it ebbs, and I'm talking as somebody who is not in a relationship, will never get married ever. But I understand what it's like to work with other people. Do you know what
Yeah,
I
of
mean? Like I
course.
know what it's like, and then we have stuff uh on social media where the the makings and markings of a good father are also kind of impossible. Like
Mm.
I'm thinking about like people who are like my husband cooks, cleans, gets the kids ready, does this, and pays all the bills. I'm like, that doesn't make sense either. Do you know what I mean? Like
Right. Right.
that's weird too. Like not weird, but like that's not a partnership either. Like what are you doing?
Right.
And not even
Right.
on some pick me woman shit. Like what do you do? But like no, literally, it's a family, it's a partnership. What do you do if
Right.
he does all of that and pays all the bills? Like do you go to work? Like, who's working here? Is he working and coming home? Like, it's stuff like that is usually asked of women that I also think is an imbalance. If I work from A to Z and A to Z. What is that? If I work from a certain time and you work from home, then your duties are different than if I have to get in the car and drive. So it works out for different situations. And I think that this one size fits all idea of parenthood, of fatherhood, motherhood, life is what's fucking people up. Because going back to Ayesha and to a lesser extent, Michelle, because I don't think people took what Michelle said as hard as what they're taking Ayesha as. And I think it's because Ayesha's younger. I think it's because Ayesha should be living the life that everybody says that they want. And for her to complain about it is like a personal affront. I've seen so many comment sections where it's like, well, imagine having to work 87 hours a day at least it's like, all right, well, you shouldn't be working 80. So like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's
Right.
different. It's
Right.
just
Right.
different. And I think that comparison, people comparing themselves, um, and their situations to like impossible. Your husband is not going to be president, so you don't have to
Right.
worry about that part of it.
And the
Your
greatest
son,
basketball player of all time. Right.
exactly. You're not going to have to worry about that. Like,
Yeah.
let's scale down and worry about what we can actually see,
Yeah.
which is it's
I
kind of
I I
dismissive and fucked up, but
yeah, I agree. And I want to take it back. I don't think what Aisha's saying is ungrateful. I don't even know if it sounds ungrateful. I want to take that back. I want to take that back.
good.
I definitely want to take that back. What I really want to say is I wish that I don't know if I feel like she's being used. And I feel like she's being used by the platforms that she's on. And I
Mm,
want her to be aware of,
mm,
assuming that she is, I don't know if she is or isn't, but I want her to be aware how powerful that her reality is for these platforms that are selling this man versus woman shit. Cause
mm,
that's what
mm.
they're doing, right? Like they're selling, the men are from Mars, they don't want women are from Venus, we don't understand, and she just seems to fall right into it. She
Well,
seems to
they're
be
also they're clipping it without context.
Right.
right?
Right.
And they're not even really they're relying on the fact that people don't go looking for the rest of it. They're just going by soundbite, but they're also not providing pushback or they're not providing a healthy environment for the conversation to live, because there is a conversation to be had about getting married
Yeah.
too young,
Yeah.
not figuring out who you are, because even if it was her saying, my advice to young women is make sure you have a strong sense of who you are, what you want, before you attach yourself to somebody who has a very clear idea of what it is that they want and who they are. Like if it's framed that
Right.
way, if the conversation was going that way, maybe it doesn't. I haven't listened to every single thing that she's been on, but at least when you clip it, have that be part of the structure. Because I think that people are inclined to go and listen to more of it as well. And they're probably more inclined to go and listen to the entire thing rather than taking up a clip and running with that. So I think you're right. They're doing her a disservice. But I just think that people are just very unkind generally, because if you think about, the more I think about what she's saying, the more I understand, especially if you have a personality of your own, especially if because she was a chef or something, right? Or uh, she could have been
Something in the food
something.
industry.
Yeah, I think she had a
Yeah.
restaurant, stuff like that. Like I think that being unable to find your niche and like and live there. Yeah, I think the people. I think you're right. I think they're definitely doing her a disservice by not framing it and not putting it in the in the proper like environment to actually have a fruitful conversation. All that
Yeah,
to say.
and to say and to acknowledge that, like, acknowledge that her kids are at a hard age. They're at the worst age right now. All her kids are like that middle age. They're kind of in school. They're kind of not. They're off and on this and that. And like, I would love for the conversation to continue and say, like, acknowledge that, I think her daughter is in middle school or high school. And you know how you like that's the hard age. And it would be great for the conversation to continue and be like, I can't wait for these kids to leave
Mhm,
so that I can do blah, 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 or
mhm,
so that I can reinvest in myself so that while, you know, the kids are leaving and Steph's career is about to end. So we can now be together more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like there's a comma in these comments and like, okay. And it seems like she's been in this space for like 10 years, right?
mhm.
Like
Yeah.
8 to 10 years of like, not, it sounds like she doesn't like being married. That's how on the surface, right? We understand what it is. And also it's like being married is hard. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the part of the conversation that is being glassed over. Like
But here's the
being in a
thing.
marriage. What? Go ahead, go ahead.
Yes, being married is hard, so I've heard. Um, but being married to somebody like Steph Curry
Yeah,
has got to be even more difficult, especially
right.
again because people kept saying, "Oh, he's so unproblematic. He doesn't embarrass her," like on and on and on. But you don't know how this nigga is at home.
We don't know. Yeah, I don't even
No
believe that. We don't
idea.
know.
We
We
have
don't know that.
no idea what's going on at home. So what she's dealing with and what she's referring to, and probably can't even go into full detail, really, is some shit that we don't know.
Yeah.
I do, again, we'll go back to we shouldn't know any of this. This should be the
Yeah.
group chat that she starts with Savannah James, Whitney Lamar, and who
Sure.
else can go in that group chat? Like
And Michelle Obama.
Adonis, Michelle Obama, Adonis, Whitney Lamar.
Why is that 8-year-old boy gonna be in this? Lost loved ones in this.
Adonis
That's
needs
the
our
name of
help.
the chat.
Okay.
That's hilarious. And then you see, no, we're gonna get off Aisha, but you saw the most recent clip of her. I think she was on The View, and they brought out some man. See, they be setting her up. They be setting her up
Oh, where she's
to
like, she yeah,
took off her ring or something.
yeah.
And I was like,
It's
oh,
jokes
like
though. Like, come
yeah,
on.
it's
I
true.
understand with all
I
the
agree.
stuff that's surrounding it, but it's like at the end of the day, let people be people. Like, it's jokes, and people like, what if she was a man and she did? Yeah, it would be weird if she was a man if she did that.
It'll be weird,
Sorry.
right? And any nigga will know not to do no shit like that, right? Like it's just you
Exactly.
can't do that.
And
Like
women
yeah,
do it because it's funny, because they know
yeah,
that
yeah,
she's not
yeah.
really stepping out. Like, what are you doing? People, it's giving shut
Yeah.
up and
But yeah,
dribble.
shut up and wife.
Shut up and
That's
wife.
really what.
Shut up and wife
Yo,
and rich
that's what
wife.
it.
Mhm.
Shut up and wife. Like yeah, yeah, yeah.
'Cause I would
Oh man, what else is
imagine
what?
if her husband was a plumber and she was having the exact same conversations, people would not be mad at her. They would not be
Right,
mad at her.
right, right.
They would give her the space to like, yeah, you know what, you should have. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. We can get off of Ayesha.
No, no, no. I don't want. Well, we were just talking about aging. I think that's all. This is all par for the course. Is that you know there aren't very many people that are having conversations about what it looks like to age, to get older, to almost as like I think about it like, if I went right now to get on the basketball court and I wanted to go play basketball with my friends or whatever, play a pickup game, right? Um, a part of going out there, it's like, oh, I'm on the basketball court. This is comfortable for me. Like this is something I'm used to. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna play a game and I'm gonna have fun. And then there's gonna be like 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds that come out there, like, oh, you want to play? Let's play 3-on-3 real quick. And I start playing and I realize like, uh-oh, I can't do this like I used to, right? But part of me looks in the mirror and I'm like, hey, I'm in good shape. Like what's happening? And I feel like that conversation is we generally as like people understand the physical limitations of our aging, but I don't know if we have a understanding of what like the mental, emotional, socio emotional implications of you can't do that anymore
Mhm,
in your life, right? And I think it's
mhm,
like we talk about being clumsy. I I feel like there's a moment at least once a week where it's like, damn, I'm 48. I shouldn't wear this anymore. Or
mhm,
I don't know if I want my hair like this anymore, right? Like, I love my locks, but should I shave it on the side? Like, should I let my tattoo show when I go out? Should I wear this kind of suit? It's just like so often where I realize that people our age in our specific niche of the world that are hip hop heads that are still into the culture that are young oldish
mhm,
that are in general good shape like just I find it more challenging to navigate some of those spaces. When I was in New Orleans this week, right? And you're in New Orleans, you're on Bourbon Streets, people all over the place. I'm looking around, and I'm like, ah, half of these people are probably 20.
mhm.
Like, should I even be out here? Like the music's blaring. I'm like, I know this song, and I'm like, hey, do I look crazy doing this? Like,
It's
I'm
it,
50. I don't know. I don't know. I
we
don't know.
are at a very two things. One of them tripped me up a couple of days ago, but we are Gen X, Zennials, we're aging in a way that we have no blueprint for. Our parents didn't go through this. Our parents weren't
Right.
didn't have to be concerned with the things that we are concerned. We're in the middle. We are older because we that's what the
Mm,
numbers say. But the way that
the
we
numbers.
have oriented ourselves, the fact that we are still out here is very confusing because we are not in our 30s and 20s anymore. We're just not. But we're also not the same kind of 40s and 50s our parents were. So this is uncharted territory.
Right.
We're still figuring this out. But let me tell you what happened. I don't know why I did this. I don't know what I was going through. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff happening
Oh,
with
this is about to be
Saweetie in the news right now, right? And
oh,
I
uh-huh,
went
uh-huh.
to go look at how old she is. She's like 32, something like that. And when I was looking at her Wikipedia, I was like, oh, her father, her great grandfather was a professional football player. Oh, cool. Went to his page. Who's her father? Oh, her father did it. Oh, her mom used to be a video vixen. Sawini's mother is 49 years old. Sawini's mother is 49 years old,
Damn.
born in
Damn.
1976. I believe her father was born in 1974.
Woo.
Keep going.
Whoa.
Kendrick Lamar's parents were
No.
born in the 70s.
Kendrick's our age, no?
Exactly. We are closer to Kendrick's parents' age than we are to Kendrick.
Damn
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
For real, like, no, that is shocking news, 'cause it was crazy. You know, that's so crazy you bring that up, and why I hate you for doing it is because I specifically remember during the battle, looking up Kendrick's age. I was like, "Oh, he's like 35,
He's 38,
right? Is he
37,
like
38.
35?"
Yeah. 37, 38.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, "Oh, okay." I felt like oh, like we're like I could be like his older, cooler brother, or a cool, a young uncle to Kendrick. But now you put this out here. Now Kendrick's dad. Great, good
No,
job.
but listen. So Kendrick's parents had him when they were 16, 17. He
Yeah.
was born in 87.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Saweetie
That's
thing
sobering.
fucked me up because I was like, what?
That's
But that's
sobering.
where we are. We're it's such a weird time. It's such a weird time. It's a weird
Uh,
time because we're not, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore now.
so
I'm
peep
annoyed
this.
with
So
myself.
that yeah, you ruined it. Peep this. So I was at I try to go to as many of Ellington's home games as I can. So I was at a home game. I've been, maybe the past two home. I'm actually going to a game tomorrow. But before did I share this before the warm up or while they're warming up?
The music,
One of
yeah.
the kids, yeah, one of the kids on the team is a DJ, and they have like this great music, and they always play Dreams and Nightmares, right? And like that's our anthem. Like that's like so every time it comes on, like I'm in the crowd, like "Da, da, I used to pray for times like this, to round like
Yeah, I
this,
like
da, da,
this.
da." And I don't know what made me one time look around, and I was sitting with all of the other parents, and I felt like a fucking clown. I didn't know what like. Meanwhile, and I'm not exaggerating, they were all like this.
Oh my
It's
God.
so loud.
Oh my
Why is the
God.
music so loud? And I'm like, I used to pray for times like, and I'm doing the whole thing. I'm like, paddy wagon, chuck locked on wrist, and I'm doing the whole shit. Arga is, as animated as you would imagine. So it was this last game on Saturday where I was like, damn, I probably look like a fool. Okay, whatever. So then after the game, one of his assistant coaches, who Nahom, right? You know Nahom. Alawe knows Nahom. Nahom
Okay.
is the
Probably.
coach of the team that they're on in the summer. The
Oh, okay,
team that
okay.
they're on in the summer. Uh, so Nahom is one of the assistant coaches at Catholic. He's the black assistant coach at Catholic. And he comes up to me and he's like, "Oh man, like I see you bopping for the game. Like it makes us all hype. It hypes us up. Like, oh man, look at Elton's dad out there dancing." I was like, okay, that feels like I'm a clown. Okay, cool. I'll allow it. And he's like, whenever you're here, we win. So you got to come to every game. So we're just joking, laughing, da da da. And then after the game, I asked Ellington, "Yo, how old is Nahom? How old is Nahom?" And he's like 24. I was like, nigga, what? I'm twice the age of your assistant coach? Yo, it just the whole situation just I don't know. It just made me very, very aware of my age.
Mhm.
and that I'll be 49 in a few months. Like, it's like I'm not embarrassed of my age by any means, but I feel like as I get older, I'm just more aware that in certain scenarios,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the older person,
Yeah.
and that for a lot of people, if they know my age, it would be weird for them and me. Like I told you the story where I lied to the guy in the
Yeah.
airport who
Yeah.
thought I was whatever. I don't.
No,
But what do we do with that?
it's strange, and I think about it also just being online a lot. Like, I'll be in comment sections and, like, am I having a conversation with a 20-year-old? Am I arguing with a 22-year-old? Like, what? And I don't even think about things in those terms, but I'm like, you literally were not there, and I'm having a conversation with you about what it's like to be there. Um, the latest thing
Right.
is, I didn't see him. Did you see him?
Oh, the movie?
The
No, I
movie
haven't
him,
seen it
sorry,
yet, but
I
I
keep
want.
saying that, and people are like, "Who's him?" Um, I didn't see it, but, like, I think that the main guy, Tyreek Withers, who was in on Atlanta, like, whatever, I think he's
Oh yeah,
adorable.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think he is funny. He's got, like, a huge personality. He's so cute, da 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 da. And I was, like, going through a TikTok comment section with, like, a edit of his, and then so I was like, "Yeah, he graduated high school in 2019 or something." I was like, because, like, I knew he was young. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like I know, like, in my mind, I know numbers. I know what age is. I know you're young. But, like, seeing it and, like, oh, I was a full-fledged adult human person when this person was born. Really?
yeah, yeah. Along those same lines, same dude. I didn't know he was alpha. Like he's a alpha, like pledged undergrad alpha.
Yeah.
And so I found his chapter page, and this nigga crossed in spring 2018. That was like 2 years ago. That was he crossed alpha a full damn near 20 plus years after I did, almost 30 years after I did.
Yep.
And it's just stuff like that. What are we supposed to do with that
I don't
information? Like,
I
it's like,
literally don't know.
okay,
I literally don't know what we're supposed to do
you
with it.
know,
I literally do
I,
not
I'm
know
just,
what you're supposed to do with it.
I'm becoming more aware of it. And it's like, I rem, and I also remember when I was in college, undergrad, and the older guys would come back for homecoming or whatever. And I remember looking at them like, these niggas old as shit. Like, look at them. They think they young. You know what I'm saying? I remember thinking that,
Mhm.
knowing full well they probably all of Ellington's friends, like everybody is probably thinking of me in the same light, you know? And all of even Brooklyn's friends, Brooklyn's who's, younger than Ellington. So her friends' parents are younger than us.
Mhm.
It's still they still seem so much older than us. I would
Yes.
assume on paper they're probably the same age, slightly younger, but generally the same kind of age. But we go to their houses or they invite us over and come pick up the girls. I'm like, that's her dad. That's not her
Yeah.
grandfather. And
Yeah.
come to find out, like, yeah, yeah, he's younger than you. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
I,
what kind of Twilight Zone? Like, Zoe's dad is 45. He has a full receding hairline and walks with a crutch. Like, what are we like? What's going
Shout
on
out to
out here?
Zoe's dad. Jesus Christ. I hope he doesn't hear this. The fuck?
Zoe is a
He's
fictional
got a
character. She is
humpback.
not a real person,
He's got a hunchback, a colostomy bag.
a handicap sticker, and he's younger than me. So what does that make me? What I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm sure when I come to their door to pick up Brooklyn, they're like, nigger at the door. Like, what's going on?
Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
No,
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
it's
Oh,
whenever just on the whole Alawi's assistant coach, Black Eyes too, when he sends me messages, he's like, Miss Bossy. And I'm like, no, just call me Bossy. And I was like, no, you probably can't because you're like 20 years old and your mom would be really mad at you if you called me
right.
by my first name. So
Right.
I think that I feel like every episode is devolves into us talking about aging. But one of the things that I really love about Kendra is how comfortable she is. She's like, I don't want to be
Mhm.
18. I don't want to look 18. I don't want. She's like so fully uh her age, and not in a way that's like, if somebody say like, "Oh, Bossy, you're so your age," I'd be fighting words for me. Like, what the fuck you mean? But she's like, I aspire to be that level of rooted in age, or rooted in my age and in the future of
Mhm.
oh, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I don't know if I'll ever be as I'm saying it, but I don't know. I don't know.
No, you know who I thought was a really good example of an older man aging? I think Kendra, seeing her page, like, she does it so well, and she looks
Mhm.
so good while doing it, and it's so natural for her,
Yeah.
and I feel like there's certain times where I feel, like, supernatural, like, yeah, this is just the age I am, like, I'm not hiding it, whatever, but, I feel like Dre from Blackish, and then the counterpart on, Black AF,
Oh,
Kendra. No, what's her? Not
Kenya.
uh,
Kenya. Kenya?
Kenya.
Yeah, yeah.
Barris, Kenya
Karen
Barris. Yeah,
Barris.
I feel like he demonstrated like what it looks like for a young a young old hip hop guy to age gracefully, like what he wore, just how he talked about his relationship with his kids. I think on a more comedic side, I think Dre's character, Anthony Anderson's character on Blackish, did a good job with it too. Even from like there was an episode where he talked about like his sneaker collection. Like these are
Mhm.
all the
I was
sneakers that
actually
he
just
wanted
thinking
to
about
buy
that.
when he was a kid, right? Like he couldn't
Yeah.
afford. Now you can. Um, I don't know. I want to. I want to. I would. I can't wait to have Kendra on the show because I would love to hear with the three of us to talk about what is her take on men aging and like what does
Mm.
she see if there's any difference or what words of advice she would have. 'Cause 9 times out of 10 I'm fine. Like 9 times like hey I'm a younger looking dad that's in late 40s, but there's some times where it's like so painful, like it kind of hurts, and I see
No, I understand.
myself, like I'm looking at myself. I'm like, look at this old bastard. Just like who does he think he is? But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But
We should I'll message her and see when, like, next week. Like, why not?
yeah, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good conversation.
Next week, yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it'd be a
for
good
sure, for sure,
conversation.
for sure, for sure. And are we gonna put this episode out first and then y'all's episode? Is it gonna be like a bonus week? What are
I
you
think it should be
thinking?
a bonus week. I think our episode with her should be a bonus week. So I feel like it's what's that word? Uh the word that means that it's not it's not gonna age. Not age.
Oh, evergreen, like an evergreen episode.
Evergreen episode. Yeah. I don't think it's evergreen, but basically that. Like, it's not time sensitive or something. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
It's up
yeah,
to
yeah,
you.
yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
I haven't listened to it,
Yeah,
and I know
yeah,
that
I'm
there
with
are a couple of interruptions, but I do think it'd be great to have her on and just keep that in the tuck for, like, if there's ever
yeah,
another uh time when we should actually have more episodes like that that are just evergreen.
agree,
Yeah,
agreed. Well, that's all I got, Bossy.
that's all I got. That's all I
That's
got.
all I
Ain't got
got.
nothing more. Is there anything else that's
Well,
happening?
for folks that are listening, I mean, there's peace in the Middle East, apparently.
Oh, is it? Good for them.
That's what
That's
he said.
sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Expressed my exact sentiment. Like, oh, is it? Okay, great. What's for dinner? Uh,
Until the next time. Until the next thing.
yeah, there's peace in the Middle East. I was watching CNN today, and it's all over. I don't know. We could talk about that another time. I don't really like. Cool, good, good. Hostages were released. Apparently, it was happy. People were crying. That's all I got. I don't believe it.
I
I don't
100%
believe.
don't believe it. I mean, my man was
Yeah,
campaigning for the Nobel Peace Prize, and now that he didn't get it, he's probably gonna go and like ruffle things up again.
yeah.
I don't
He's
want to
gonna
talk about this. I
bomb
don't
the
care.
Nobel Peace Prize.
Listen,
Okay, yeah, no, let's stop.
listen.
Well, folks, continue to follow us on everything. We are the Idea Pod. Send us a message, comment, like, share, subscribe. Um, Happy to be joining you back, and we'll see you next week. I can't find our outro, but keep finding the joy in the jump off, the chaos in the calamity.
It's time for the jump off. I've been gone for a
Stay
minute. Now it's back with
curious.
the jump off.
Oh man.
No,
All
hold
right,
on.
y'all. I'll
No,
holler
hold on.
at you.
No, wait, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet.
Well,
There's a line that's gonna drive me crazy
okay,
unless I
okay,
say
okay.
it. Oh, I got mad friends that's pretty. Sorry, go ahead.
What?
I got mad
Kim
friends
said
that's
that?
pretty. Yeah, in that song. And I was like, there's a line that's gonna drive me crazy unless I say it. So it's fine. Bye.
All right, y'all. Holla. Peace.